Hey there, this is Cardell. I just thought I would make a brief follow-up video on a program I just uploaded to GitHub that I finished. It is functioning as much as I had expected it to do. It does what I wanted it to do, so I thought, I'll put it up there so that people can see, download, try, all that kind of stuff. How I did stuff, learn from it as much as I learned from other people. So let's go over the parts of the program, and I'll just kind of explain the problems and reasonings behind certain changes that I've done while I was actually developing the program. So, the purpose of the program is to view movies on Google Drives that have either been shared to me and I've saved them, or they're videos that I've uploaded there that they might be stupid GIF videos or Flash videos or something like that, and I wanted to know where they were without having to download, or I wanted to watch them without having to log into every single account to look for them. So I wanted a program that had a persistent database that I can click on each account and it builds it, and then I have a database. I never have to touch it again. So I did that. The first time I did this, however, I had an idea how I wanted to store the database, but I didn't really have uh, enough of a solid idea of how C# worked with lists and dictionaries and stuff like that. I really didn't know much about it. I had messed around with Unity a little bit, and I had briefly touched on it, and that was a long time ago. So while I was making the program, it was a lot of research and rereading docs and stuff like that, just to kind of refresh my memory. And I got about halfway, three-quarters of the way through coding the database part, and I didn't like it. The first time I was I'd have like the list box that listed the movie names in it, and then I had this list here at the very top, which is the list of strings, which is all the shareable links for them. And when you clicked an item in the list box, that index of the selected item you have matched up with the index of the string, or of the shared link. So they were kind of equal. I didn't really like it. If you change one, like something happens somewhere and you add entry into the database that's invalid or something, it throws off everything after that, even though it's not listing it. And I just didn't like it. So I thought, rather than dealing with the list box itself for the data of like the name, since that was the only reference at this point of the name was in that list box, I decided to change from this method to a dictionary with a key value. So the key was always the movie name, and the value was the shared link, and that is what this movie database is. So whenever I was populating the list, I was always just cycling through this dictionary, adding items according to whatever I was doing at the time, either search box or just everything, and that was it. If I ever wanted to save it, I would just go through all of the movie database and save the XML. If I needed to wipe it or reload it, I could just null this out or read the XML back into this thing, repopulate it, and it was all nice and neat, and it was all from one central point. So once that was working, I thought, great, let's do the accounts now, because the accounts are basically the same idea. I needed information. However, I needed to store the credentials and the secret for the Google Drive accounts. And the problem is that it's a data structure now. So what I did is I created a class called count data that has the credentials and secret strings in them, and my dictionary now has a string, and then the account data class as the next one, and as the value. So that's how I used a class inside of the dictionary to store all the data that I needed. The other part is going to be the XML, and let's go over the XML part where I was having kind of three problems with the XML. The first one was the file just flat out didn't exist. So it was crashing. The program was crashing because the file didn't exist. I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, oh, well, the file doesn't exist. Of course, it's not going to run. So I made, if it doesn't exist, because I'm going to save it anyways, just don't continue loading. then I load the document because it obviously exists, and then the second problem was that it was empty. There was nothing in it. So it would crash because it would try to read the data and there was nothing in there. So get the descendants of the movie, so how many movie tags in there. I need to do this probably less than 1 or equals to 0. But anyways, it's probably empty, but continue if there's more than that, more than 1 entry in it, and it just goes along great. Adds all the stuff, grabs the attribute name from the tag, and then it goes through all the elements inside, and it grabs the file link value and adds the movie name and the file link to the movie database. Same goes for the saving, except we're creating our elements and adding them to each other, etc., etc. We don't have to check if it exists or not because we're going to override it anyways. The save accounts, the same thing. Add movie to database. This is where the dictionary thing was handy. If I wanted to add the movie to the database, I check, does the key exist? Does the value exist? So does it have the same link but a different file name in it? If that, I don't even think that's possible on Google Drive. I think once the file name changes, it gets a different file link. But anyways, the contains the key. The movie name can have the same movie name exactly, but a different shareable link. So I wanted to not add it if it was the same name. Then we add those, and then we save, which writes the XML file at that point. The next part is the there's my accounts. Oh, the Google Drive part. Okay, so the Google Drive part I got from Daimto, who is an author of a tutorial on C# and the Google Drive API. The link for it is in the GitHub README, so make sure you go check that out and read through it. It's very, very handy. I think there's like 5 parts to the tutorial. And they go over more stuff, because I didn't have to do uploading files and stuff, which they go into. You can go read that part of it. So I just took what I needed and left it at that. So we have our client ID and the secret and the username. So this is all the stuff that is added from the credentials part on the Google Drive, which is what you paste into the add account text boxes. It returns the service once it gets the connection, and then the Google Drive helper from Daimto, which is awesome, gets the files, and then it has a filter of your files. So where the file type is basically a video and it's not in the garbage, return it. And then we go through it and then add the title and the link that it has. The alternate link is the shareable link for it. So that's how the Google thing works. It's pretty simple. It's only like those 2 functions. Selecting index, I have it disabling the delete button if there's nothing selected. So if you don't, because I have no checks if there's anything selected in here. So as long as you have an item selected, the delete button will remove it from the accounts. The delete the accounts. It doesn't delete. You can't delete files, so don't worry about that. Shareable link. That's just copies the link to the clipboard for you, so you don't have to select it all. What else? I think that's pretty much it. The search. That's nothing special. Loop through the same movie database. Change the name of or the key to it to lowercase and the text to lower so that you can compare it completely. If they contain each other, or if the text is inside that key, it means it matched something. Add it to the list. That's all it's doing. And you have to have 3 or more characters to do that, otherwise it doesn't do anything, and if it's 0, it populates from the entire list. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire program. If you have any problems or any questions about it, just go to the GitHub, download the source, try it out. If you have a question on something, you want me to go over it, ask a comment in the video below, and then I will try to get back to you on that. Maybe have to make a video reply. Who knows? We'll see. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.